We have now had another tweet from Joe Biden on that very matter. I'll read it out, but basically he is now endorsing Kamala Harris. It says, "My fellow Democrats, I've decided not to accept the nomination and to focus all my energies on my duties as president for the remainder of my term. My very first decision as the party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my vice president, and it's been the best decision I've made. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee of our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this." And with that, he has tweeted a picture, as you can see on your screen, of the two of them laughing together, sharing a moment as they walk through the Rose Garden at the White House, is what it looks like. So, David, there we have it. We do now know that Joe Biden is endorsing Kamala Harris. No doubt the first indication of that was the mention of her as his running mate in his statement, saying that he wasn't going to run for re-election and he's withdrawing from the US presidential race. He is endorsing Kamala Harris. It will be interesting, David, what the other Democrats make of that, because there's been mixed reviews on Kamala Harris's term too.
Yes, there has, although her support has been building in the polls also, and I think it will now build significantly given that the president has publicly endorsed her as the substitute to run instead against Donald Trump in November. This is a situation, obviously, that is evolving by the minute, and when he issued his statement confirming that he was stepping aside, he did not endorse Kamala Harris. We've had to wait for that tweet, but it does change things significantly. I think it does make her the likely candidate. There will be others in the Democratic Party who would feel there should be some sort of open contest, will not want a coronation, will believe there should be some kind of process at their national convention, perhaps in August. But given how ugly the last few days have been for the Democrats, with close to 40 members of Congress, House representatives and senators going public to call for Joe Biden to step aside. And given that some of them have spoken publicly for the very first time about recent engagement with the president and their concerns about his cognitive ability, it is a party in some disarray. And the president in that tweet appears to be doing his very best to draw a line under all of that, to bring the battle within the party, the tug of war that we've witnessed, to an end, and to give Kamala Harris the best possible chance of securing the nomination and ultimately of securing the White House. We shouldn't really be surprised, as she's been a very loyal vice president to him. He also made history by appointing the first African-American woman to the Supreme Court. So he will be very keen that part of his legacy will be to see the first woman elected president in the United States. Of course, all of this comes after so much battle at the heart of the Democratic Party. There were rumours that Joe Biden was hanging on for as long as possible, resisting calls for him to go because of an old grudge. You'll remember back in 2016 when he was overlooked for the nomination and Barack Obama chose to back Hillary Clinton instead. Donald Trump went on to win the White House, and Joe Biden to this day is reported to be unhappy about the fact that he believes Obama and Clinton and people like the former Speaker Nancy Pelosi were the reason Donald Trump ended up in the White House in the first place. And he felt if he had been the candidate back in 2016, then he would have beaten Donald Trump. And that's why he hung on for so long. He continued to feel that he would be the candidate who could beat him again this year. But at the end of the day, he's 81 years of age. Some in his own party have been concerned about his failing health. And then to top it all off, last week he contracted COVID yet again, which made him appear to be in a very fragile position just days after Donald Trump appeared in the strongest possible position, rising from the platform, blood-stained, shouting, "Fight, fight, fight," after he had been wounded in an attempted assassination.